If you can out squat me, I will give you a crisp 100. If you can out squat me, I will give you a crisp $100 bill. I need some competitors. What do you say, S? Come on, boys. Let's head out back. All right, let me explain how today's competition is going down. We are at SAE, one of the largest fraternities on campus, but there are only 12 competitors who think they can beat me. Everyone has to clear every single weight, and we're starting at 150 pounds and going up in 50-pound increments. It looks like all 12 competitors were able to clear the warm-up weight of 150 pounds. Let's add some plates. Next up, 200 pounds. All right, old knees cracking there. That was a little tougher than I thought. Get in there. Let's go. Nice depth. That's good. That's clean. That's a nice squat. Yeah. Up. Fight. Nice.
Come on, man.
Believe in yourself. Hey.
You got it, Frank. You got
Up. Yeah. Yep. Nice. I like it. Come on.
Let's go.
And up. Nice. Oh no, he's a little wobbly. Oh. 200. Yeah.
There you go, baby.
Yeet.
Let's go.
Nice. Wow, everybody cleared 150. Everybody cleared 200. You know where we're going now? 250. It's about to get real. Let's go. Yeah, I gotta hit it first. Or I'll just give you guys $1,200 so we can go get a beer. Oh, it's getting heavy.
Come on, man. Yes, sir!
300 is gonna be tough though. Nice.
Let's go, Abraham. Let's go, kid.
Here we go. You got this.
That's nothing.
Look at that depth. Yeah!
Oh, my God. Eat. Come on.
Get up. Come on. Push. Yeah. If you need to bail, just say nope, and I'll be like, Carson, grab it, and we'll walk it up.
Yeah.
Come on, Juju. Let's go. Be aggressive with it, Reese. Let's go. Come on now. Up. Grab it. Good try. Hey, good try. Let's hear it for Reese, guys. Nice job, Reese. Reese. Come on, Bennett.
Let's go.
Here we go.
Come on.
Up! Grab it.
No.
I don't think you had it. The bar stopped going up. You want another attempt?
Yeah.
Put it back in the rack.
No.
Okay. Get up! Oh! Damn! I never should have doubted you.
This guy stole my package from a porch, and he's about to open it in his house.
Hello.
But what he doesn't know is that this is the third generation of a new and improved custom-built bait package that's recording him on 4 different phones and just released a pound of the world's finest glitter, along with some other nasty surprises. But to understand how we got here, we first have to go back in time a bit. Because that's when this couple stole a package from my porch. And even with the video footage, the police wouldn't do anything, so I vowed to use my engineering skills to go full Home Alone on these punks. Not just to avenge my package, but as a tribute to the 2 million packages that are stolen across America every year. And because packages are taken most in December, for the 3rd year now, it's sort of become a Christmas time tradition for me to do my very small part to encourage future would-be porch pirates to choose a different profession in just the most fabulous way possible. So before we see how this year's version fares in the wild, I'm gonna first walk you through all the upgrades my buddy Sean and I have been incorporating into this box over the past year. For starters, we updated the outer casing, this time going for more of a Cybertruck aesthetic. You can sort of see the evolution from year to year right here. As part of this, we created an intentional handle here in the hopes that the package thief will grab it, not realizing we took a page directly from the Kevin McAllister home security plan by putting extra sticky glue on the underside. This is the exact same stuff used in those rodent traps, and as you can see here, it's incredibly strong. You'll also notice these 2 protruding rods. Those are the most critical improvement from last year, but more on that in a second. Under the hood, we made quite a few changes as well. The fundamentals are still the same, where you have a battery-powered, Arduino-based microcontroller on a custom-printed circuit board that gives instructions to these 4 phones, which allows us to record the thief no matter which side they open it from. But this time we upgraded the brains of the box itself to have its own SIM card too, so we can fully control all the functions of the phone at any time, including remotely triggering sounds to be played on command. And you'll see why that matters in just a bit. And this year, you'll see not 1, not 2, but 4 canisters of fart spray. I had the personal goal this year that anyone who opened this box would at least at some point comment on just how bad it smells. To aid with that, I'm using the same absolutely wretched formula that almost killed Macaulay Culkin last year.
I still smell it.
Along with just a touch or 2 of essence of actual skunk. I'm going light on this stuff because it lingers much longer than the fart spray, and anything more than a couple drops just wouldn't be cool. And so these cams are turned by motors, which sprays the fart spray, and we keep spraying it every 30 seconds because first of all, it's ridiculous and hilarious. But second, and more importantly, so they get rid of the package out of their house before they realize there's 4 phones inside. And this design feature makes it so we pretty much recover our boxes 100% of the time from the closest trash can or dumpster, since we already know the location of the box at all times due to the GPS tracking on the phones. But if the box does get destroyed by a package stealing glitter hater, all the phones will have already uploaded their footage to the cloud for me to see exactly what happened. And then of course we've got the main attraction, which is this spinning cup powered by a motor underneath here, which this year holds 15% more of the finest biodegradable glitter that money can buy. And so then after opening the box and just like sitting in a daze trying to process what the heck just happened, well, that's when we start the countdown.
10, 9.
And of course, we know nothing happens when it gets to the end. But having just been covered in glitter and fart spray, they're going to be terrified of what this would possibly escalate to next by the time the countdown ends. And then after the countdown, we have the police scanner. But this year we added LEDs, so it will light up the room in red and blue lights for added ambiance. This also allows us to illuminate the package thief's face with white light in case they open it in a darker setting. And then finally, we've got this lid, which still has these 2 holes with one-way film, so we can record what's going on even before it's opened. But as you can see, Kevin's older brother Buzz has also been working hard this year. He's releasing not just the fictitious Buzz Buds, but the entire Buzz collection. And it's just adorable when you hear some of these package thieves repeat that in excitement. And this is literally the box we use, but somehow they never bother to read the side with lots of little words that would totally give the whole thing away. And so now with the lid in place, you can see the function of those 2 rods from earlier, because when the lid slides off, they shoot out, which prevents the natural reaction of someone to just quickly put the lid right back on again. And this happened quite a bit last year, and it just makes it way less fun for nearly everyone involved. And if you look at the CAD, you can see how these are designed such that once the plunger is extended out by this spring, this little floating chunk of steel drops down into this groove, which stops the plunger from being pushed back in. This is just a beautiful passive solution, and the only way to reset them to get the lid back on is to either wave a magnet here, which sucks that steel chunk up, thereby allowing the plunger to go back in, or to turn the whole thing upside down, which means the chunk falls out of the groove due to gravity. And for the final major design improvement, last year it was a hassle for our porch volunteers to have to bring the boxes in and charge them every night, and then remember to put them out the next day. It was also a problem if the box got stolen in the late afternoon, because the phone and the box batteries could be pretty low at that point. So this year we made a custom doormat that discreetly plugs in and then inductively charges the box at all times, so it's always ready to go. So the idea is, after the bad guy properly disguises himself and then comes sneaking by and steals it off the porch, all the batteries are at 100% charge, and the box knows that it's no longer on the mat, so it texts us that it's been stolen and starts recording and uploading footage and sending us GPS updates. So when they eventually get home and take off the lid, the circuit board brain knows it's go time and autonomously sets everything in motion.
Hello.
Now, is it petty to dedicate an entire year of your life to completely over-engineering a box just to shoot a little glitter at someone? Yes. But at the same time, could that creation still be just ridiculous and beautiful? Also yes. So that's Glitter Bomb 3.0, and if you think this is cool and you want to support more efforts like this, you can get this super dope hoodie of the wireframe CAD model at markrober.com. After 10 years of YouTubing, I finally got some merch along with a cool new logo, and I can assure you that the money that was clearly saved by using the second-rate t-shirt model just went straight into making everything in the store super soft and comfortable and to give free returns. And so now all that was left to do was to send these boxes to porches all across America, and thanks to my friends at SimpliSafe who hooked us up with a bunch of cameras, we could monitor everything remotely and then just wait. And we didn't have to wait long. Our very first box was taken at night.
Hello.
Keep exchange, you filthy
And apparently they didn't seem to appreciate the name calling or the quality engineering. Because in the morning, this is what we found. So it was 1 box down, but we still had 6 backups left.
15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8.
And while he didn't explicitly mention the smell,
5, 4, 3.
the countdown was certainly pulling its own weight.
That fucking bullshit.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Activation complete. Recovery sequence initiated.
After a nice fart spray block with her hands, this lady tries to wrestle the lid on in her sink for a solid 10 minutes. And eventually exploits our one Achilles heel and turns it upside down. And she got it. I mean, I'm not even mad. That's just impressive.
Hello. You guys give up or you're thirsty for more?
Surprise.
And at this point, I'm like, how is nobody mentioning the smell? So you can imagine how happy I was to see this.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Recovery sequence initiated.
Hello. You guys give up or you're thirsty for more?
Ew, I smell it.
This one was another W for Team Fart Spray.
It looks like this one.
Yeah, it's a whole collection.
Hello.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Fifteen, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Activation complete. Recovery sequence.
And this one was the perfect Harry and Marv Wet Bandit reaction, because not only did his room get dusted with glitter, but he got doused with the fart spray, and then freaked out with the countdown, and then grabbed it by the mouse glue handle on the way to the dumpster.
Yes.
These guys had suspicions, so they took it outside to open it.
Hello. You guys give up or you're thirsty for more?
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hold on. We just opened the luggage package and it was glitter and fart spray.
I told you.
I'm so
Oh, that stinks. Oh.
Seen that on my end too.
And because I don't want anyone to feel totally depressed about humanity after seeing only the bad apples that make it into my video, just like last year, we set up a way to showcase the good apples too. So in some cases, we left it by an apartment mailbox and left tons of contact information all over the label. And You've probably received a lot of spam calls that sound something like this.
This is Amazon.com. You have been charged $379.
Now behind this harmless sounding call is a $20 billion scam industry, and today we're gonna roll over that log and see what crawls out. Because for the past 5 months, with the help of my trusty glitter bomb, which I typically just reserve for porch pirates, I've worked my way up every rung of the slimy chain of command involved in this scam. This journey is going to take us around the world and through 5 states. It involves Homeland Security, stakeouts with PIs, and of course glitter bombs, and the scammers trying to hopelessly rid themselves of sparkly evidence before getting arrested. I'm gonna show you exactly how they make so much money off these calls. So buckle up, cause it gets wild. Now all this started for me when I was working on Glitter Bomb 3.0 this past November, and I kept getting those annoying calls, so I thought maybe to return the favor, I could send them my harmless box that shoots out glitter and fart spray when you remove the lid. Now my buddy Jim Browning has a YouTube channel where he's able to reverse the connection to the scammer's computer and then thwart them in real time as they try and scan someone else. My idea was to have a legitimate victim agree to send the money, but then we'd work with them to actually send a glitter bomb instead. So Jim checked all the scammer computers he was currently monitoring, and it just so happened a woman named Tracy was being scammed for $12,500 at that very moment. So he immediately tried reaching out to her and eventually got through.
Hello.
Hello, Tracy. This is Jim Browning here again. I'm calling you. Hopefully you've got my voicemail.
Here's what happened.
Now listen carefully to what Tracy's about to say here, and hold your judgment about how could anyone ever send $12,000 in the mail until I explain how the scam works in a minute. Because I hate to give these guys credit, but it's pretty clever.
They were supposed to give me a refund of $300, and when I put it in the computer, I mistyped it as $13,000. So I had to send money back to them, $12,500, and that's where I am.
Right. I'm hoping you haven't sent that money.
I have sent it.
Oh no, right. I hate to break this to you, but this whole thing is a scam.
What do I do now? Because
I'll tell you what to do, Tracy. You leave this to me and Jim. The first thing we did was look up the address they told her to ship the money to, and given there were 6 cameras outside, this clearly was some kind of safe house for the scammers. We then had Tracy call FedEx to cancel the package, but just in case, we hired 2 PIs to be on the scene that day to intercept it. And we knew we shouldn't do that right in front of the house because they'd probably be watching, but since we weren't sure which direction the FedEx truck would come from, we overnight shipped a package to a bunch of their neighbors that explained they were randomly selected to win one of these super cool Glitter Bomb t-shirts. And if you wanted to buy one of these from markrober.com to help support making more videos like this, I'm certainly not going to stop you. This would allow us to speak to the delivery driver somewhere up the street to get the package stopped in time. And the plan worked flawlessly. Because despite Tracy's efforts to get it stopped, her package was in fact out on the truck for delivery.
Tracy something, yeah, that's the one. Don't deliver this one, please. Okay. This is the fraudulent one. If that one's going, that's also going to 1731? Okay.
But in a wild twist, there was a second package going to the same location addressed to the same fake name. Her name was Phyllis, and we later found out her package contained even more cash than Tracy's.
Okay, so that one's going back, right? And then
Definitely, yeah, it's good. That's done.
And FedEx was cool enough to eventually return the packages, so both Tracy and Phyllis got all their money back. And when the scammers angrily called Tracy back asking why the package didn't arrive, she explained she accidentally selected 2-day shipping instead of next-day air, so they would get the package tomorrow. And that's where he switched from defense to a very light offense. And so the next day, we delivered the package in an official-looking vest.
have a good holiday. Thank you.
And waited for the sweet retribution.
Hello. You guys give up or you're thirsty for more?
But for the first time in 3 years of glitter bombing criminals, someone didn't immediately throw the box outside, and he just sat there with the wretched smell, leaving the box untouched. And then as we waited, wondering what his game plan was gonna be, suddenly a bunch of NYPD officers started showing up, and it didn't take them long to figure things out.
It's a glitter bomb. It has a camera built into it. There's a camera built into this.
We had a phone number on the box, and they called us up, and I explained the whole situation, and I'll just say there was some mutual admiration for each other's work.
Cameras in this thing as well? Because this is a hell of a 3D printed little thing you got here.
I mean, there might be cameras on there, officer. And as it happens, the reason a scammer would call the cops on himself is because he isn't a scammer. This is Gary, and it turns out he's a super nice guy. But Gary runs an Airbnb, and once you go in that door, there are 2 rooms upstairs that he rents out to people. So this wasn't a safe house at all. These scammers would use Airbnb to get a temporary address they would only use once. But if that's true, that meant the scammers must have been there yesterday. So Gary showed us his security footage, and we saw this woman in an orange jacket who appeared right as the PI was talking with the FedEx driver up the street. She also looks directly at the camera and then decides it's probably cold enough outside to zip her jacket all the way up. Once the FedEx truck passes and she realizes he skipped by her, she hurries over to talk to him, and when he told her he had nothing for her for that day, she walks right back to her car, never stepping foot inside the Airbnb. The PI's got all the license plates on the street that day, and it turns out her name is Crystal. You should remember that name for later. So then Gary showed us who booked the room. It was this guy from Utah with a brand new account and 0 reviews. In fact, when the reservation was booked, he sent this message in awkward English at 3:06 a.m., which happens to be just after lunch in India. So I did some more research and learned that after the scammer in India found a willing victim, they would use a money mule and have the victim send the cash there. So Crystal in this case was the mule. But instead of sending the package to the money mule's house, they use an Airbnb. Then the mule gives the package to a supervisor who deposits the cash and wire transfers the remaining money back to the scammer. And they must have got spooked because Crystal was long gone the next day, which meant we caught poor Gary in the crossfire. But he wanted them caught just as much as us, so we compensated him handsomely just for being cool about everything. So we'll call that round a tie. We stopped the scammers from receiving 2 packages containing $30,000, but they were still glitter-free. But before I show you exactly how we tip the scales in our favor, let me explain exactly how this scam works so well at tricking so many people. There's an email that goes along with the scam that basically says the same thing as the robocall, which is Amazon just charged you $200, but if you don't recognize this charge, please call right away to have it refunded. So when you call, they say, I'd be happy to walk you through the refund process on your computer. So just type this here and simply install this, and then I'll be able to fully help you out. And most victims don't really comprehend. They've just installed a remote software program that gives the scammers full access to their computer. Now they're ready for the scam. They tell her that some accounts have actually already had their refunds automatically processed, so she needs to check her bank account to make sure the $200 refund isn't already there. And when Bessie here asks if he can see her banking info, he explains in technical terms,
it's a 3D page, so I cannot see anything.
Okay.
And so sure enough, she hasn't got the refund yet, so he needs just about 5 minutes to work with his billing department in order to process it. But first, he makes a really big deal about this.
I'm signing out from your account in front of your own eyes.
And this is true, he actually does sign out. At which point he triggers her screen to go black so she can't see anything that he's doing. And then he immediately logs back in using the browser pre-stored username and password. He's going to do a simple browser HTML edit on this page to temporarily make this Lowe's purchase look like a refund for $20,000, and you'll see why in a minute. And as he's editing away, he chats her up to try and build trust.
You're like my granny, Miss Bessie, do you know this?
Yes.
She was like one of my closest friends.
Oh.
I used to share each and everything with her.
You mean like what you do for a living? And you might be wondering, why doesn't he just wire transfer himself money while he has unrestricted access to her account? But the problem there is that it's traceable and it would likely get flagged by the bank's fraud detection system anyways. But if you can get an old lady to mail you cash, it's so untraceable, the authorities don't even begin to try and track it down. Now that he's finished, he unblinks her screen and he informs her that unfortunately, the billing department couldn't process the refund, so they have one last option to try.
This is the Chase online refund server.
It's actually just a text window that does absolutely nothing. It's pure theater.
It is an irreversible form. Whatever you are typing it over there, put it in a correct manner. Nothing would be changed over here.
Basically, he makes a big deal for 3 minutes that she's the one that has to enter all the information, and anything that gets typed there is immediately permanent. Maybe you can see where this is headed. So her name, last four of social, zip code, and finally refund amount.
Please enter your refund amount.
If you go back, you can actually hear him type the 2 extra zeros on his keyboard and hit enter.
Check everything, is it correct?
Oh no, this is a mistake. Oh, I screwed up.
Oh, Jesus.
It was supposed to be a 200 in there. Oh, God almighty. I'm exhausted. I can't do this. My mind is absolutely fried.
Please check your account. Did you really receive that money in your account? Oh my God. Plus 20,000.
Yeah.
Please save my job, ma'am. If I'll not earn for my family will die due to hunger, due to starvation. Oh, please,
yes, of course. I mean, what should I do? I mean, I can.
Feeling bad for you. You are also like my grandmother.
You know, I'm an honest
you are
person.
Making me cry now. You are making me cry now. I'm getting attached to you.
Now, how do I fix this?
He tells her that unfortunately mailing a check or wiring money would just take too long, so he needs to think for a minute. And then he comes back with this.
Hello, Miss Bessie?
Yes.
I got an option.
And you can see now how he's got her to the point where she's totally willing to send $20,000 in the mail and to lie to the folks at the bank or FedEx or even her family who might try and stop it. In her mind, she messed up. And because she's a good, empathetic person, she'll go through great lengths to make it right for someone she doesn't realize is a heartless scammer. And on top of weaponizing their empathy, maintaining pressure on their victim is a key tactic. They keep them on the phone the whole time, even as they drive to the bank, or they yell at them.
Go to the UPS. Why don't you go to the UPS?
Or call this many times in a row. And if you've ever seen this clip,
Name a woman.
Name a woman?
Yeah.
You already know when you're under extreme stress, it's an actual biological response for the part of our brain that does critical thinking to just shut down.
Yes. This is so hard.
Name a woman.
Once they're back from the bank with the cash, they coach them through packing it. In Tracy's case, they had her put $100 bills in the pages of a book so it couldn't be detected in the mail. In other cases, they have the victims wrap the cash in saran wrap so the dogs can't sniff it, and then foil so it can't be x-rayed. And unfortunately, there's a small portion of the population that are just too trusting for their own good. And sadly, it's nearly always older folks. So for the scammers, it's just a game of percentages to find them. According to data Jim has gathered from the scammers' own computers, in one shift, a call center like this with about 25 employees will send out 500,000 robocalls. They'll get about 500 calls back and land maybe 5 to 10 victims like Bessie or Tracy or Phyllis. And speaking of Phyllis, after we got FedEx to send back her package, I was able to get in touch with her son, and I found out her husband of 40 years had passed away the very week she was being scammed of her life savings. The scammers knew she was mourning this loss, but once you're scammed, your phone number is really valuable because it means you're an easy mark. So they sold her info to other scammers, and she was scammed twice more the same week her husband died. And as hard as it was for me to even hear a backstory, like that, it just made me that much more motivated to seek some glitter bomb retribution for all the Phyllises out there, and perhaps in the process, we might stumble upon some good information that we could pass on to the authorities. So now we needed another scammer to send a glitter bomb to, but we decided when Jim spots a scam in progress, it's better for him just to stop it cold and not stress out the victim any more than they already are. So we reached out to our friend Pierogi from the YouTube channel Scammer Payback, because whenever Pierogi gets a scam call to his actual phone, he turns on his cameras, makes his voice sound like an old lady, and has some fun.
If they will ask you in your bank, like, why you are withdrawing this much of cash, what you gonna tell them?
I'm getting it for Derek Wilson from Microsoft.
No, ma'am, no. You need to tell them that you are withdrawing the cash for your personal reason. And
it didn't take long for fake victim, old woman Pierogi, to get us an address in New Jersey.
Is this where I'm sending it to?
Right. Grab the box, right? So you can put the cash.
Yeah, I've already got a box. It's big enough.
This one was actually to a hotel and not an Airbnb, but as soon as we pulled up, once again, a money mule was out there waiting for us.
For Jacqueline? Everything is on here. You have a good day.
So they took the package and drove around for a couple of hours, and when it was clear they weren't going to open it, we made the call just to get the box back before the batteries died, and then maybe the box audio recording might help us piece together more info on the scam.
You guys picked up a box from FedEx today, part of a scam?
I didn't have no scam going on today.
Oh, really?
No.
Let's see the box.
I just was told
I understand.
by somebody to pick this up for them.
I understand.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm being honestly and truthfully, and I don't want no trouble.
And when I first heard that, I was like, oh, well, now I feel bad. Sometimes these mules don't even realize they're participating in scams, and they might even be victims themselves. But then I was like, look, not that I don't believe her, but maybe just in case, we just have a little peek at the audio.
I'm waiting on so many packages. I don't even know which one is which anymore.
Then she got on the phone with her boss, James.
Yeah, I know. I got one with me right now. I took the picture and sent it to you. I'm gonna bring it to you. That's what I'm saying. He said that I was done for the day. What I gotta be at tomorrow? You said that we was working out here in New Jersey. I don't know. Wherever they give me an address, that they don't even have the B&B addresses or nothing for tomorrow. This is the first time they split me and Crystal up like this in New Jersey.
That's right, Crystal. Apparently they're a team, which means Jacqueline was probably in the car the other day in New York.
Any other time she in the car watching. She don't do shit.
By the way, Crystal, hate to say it, but Jacqueline was talking a lot of trash about you. In fact, I'd watch your back, because her cousin in the car that day might be gunning for your job.
I want to be a driver. How much did they get paid? How much you get for that one parcel?
$500. Everybody gets paid the same. So we get 7 partials, and it's $75 or $100 for each partial. Everybody's getting $700. You're gonna be back and forth. You're gonna be either in Florida, Delaware, Maryland. You're gonna be here, there. So you'll be looking like you on vacation. vacation, have the time of your life. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm being honestly and truthfully.
We learned two key things here. The first is that a supervisor will have multiple mules reporting to them who apparently get flown all over the country, and just one mule could receive as many as 7 packages in a day. And the second is that this address was from a totally different call center in India. So that same supervisor can work with multiple unrelated scammers as well. And so in the spirit of avenging Phyllis, if we were gonna glitter bomb and fart spray anyone here in the States, we really wanted it to be a supervisor. And thanks to Pierogi, not long after, we would get another chance.
Get the $50,000 in cash with you, get in your car. Once you're in your car, let me know. Make sure you don't involve any third person, nobody.
So I don't need to tell my husband?
Your husband, your daughters, anyone.
This one would be in Illinois. And the delivery address this time was to a Walgreens. It was interesting to see them experimenting with different package drop-off methods. And right